So I didn't think I'd be making a video on this topic, but seeing how things have gone out of control and it's become a big debacle, I'd be talking about The Last of Us 2 leaks. Specifically, how the story turned out. No specifics. This video is probably going to get copyright struck by Naughty Dog and taken down anyway, but I figured I'd give my thoughts on the whole situation, but mostly about how I feel the story has turned out. I'm not gonna get involved in any gender identity politics, or any of the SJW stuff, or any of the backlash from the other side of the argument. I just want to talk about the course of the development of the story itself. So here's my thing, and for those of you trying to avoid spoilers for The Last of Us 2, I suggest that you skip this video entirely. I don't think anyone's going to see this anyway, but for those who are curious about my opinion, here goes. So, to sum things up for the leaks, basically, a key legacy character from the first game dies. Now, here's my thing. I'm all for characters dying if it serves the story and the plot, and if it's done well. You know, but if you're gonna send off a character, you know, send them off in a meaningful way. But this was not the case at all. And here's where we get into spoiler territories. So basically, Joel from The Last of Us 2 gets his head bashed in by a golf club. Yes, a golf club. After everything Joel's went through, a golf club is what does him in. And it's just the most unceremonious way to send off a character. And to put salt in the wound, his corpse gets spat on by one of the antagonists. So it's kind of an even bigger fuck you to the fans. And for me personally, I thought it was done in a slightly distasteful way. I mean, there's bad ways to send off characters, and there's good ways to send off characters. Like Logan. I mean, pretty much anyone who saw the trailer pretty much saw a mile away that he was gonna die. But at least he got an ending that did him justice. You know, versus say like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, where it felt so anticlimactic. This is Joel's demise here in The Last of Us 2 feels like the latter half, and here's like and the fact that, and here's where things get a little political. I don't care if it was a trans character that took out Joel. He could be a straight black male, or a regular white dude, or just another female, or any other whatever, purple, blue, orange, multi-gendered, whatever. But the fact that it just feels like Neil Druckmann is forcing an agenda with this scene in particular. Now, I might not have the full context of this particular scene, but I have enough. When I first saw the leaks, it felt too ridiculous to be true. It was kind of like the whole Rise of Skywalker situation again, where the whole script was leaked, and it felt so unbelievably bad that there was no way it was real. But here, in this case, there's physical evidence, an hour and 35 minutes of footage, and to make sure for myself, I saw most of the footage in its entirety, and judging by just this alone, I don't think this is gonna be a good turnout for the story. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna straight out boycott the game, but I definitely did cancel my pre-order. I'll probably rent it. I'm gonna give the story a fair chance. Maybe GameFly it, maybe. If Redbox was still a thing, I'll probably do that, but they shut down their services as of last year. RIP Redbox Gaming Rentals. But at first I wasn't gonna give the story a chance at all. Now I'm gonna give it a fair shake. I'm gonna at least try to rent the game sometime after launch. I'm gonna try to play the game in its entirety to see if the entire context of one scene. Even though here it's just, for me, it's just bad story writing. You're taking the protagonist that we've grown to care about through the course of the first game. You've seen their struggle, the things they go through. You play the entirety of through this character's perspective and then through the whole story, Joel and Ellie, just to see them unceremoniously, like, just either killed off or just plain out replaced by this new antagonist. Like, there's a good way to subvert expectations and there's a bad way. It's like The Last Jedi versus Infinity War, where Infinity War is a good example on how to subvert expectations of where the story's going to go, and The Last Jedi was just a bad way of taking the story conventions and then throwing them out the window to take a left turn to surprise audiences. Again, the latter half. It's just, for me, it's just bad character writing and story development. Like, the moment that I heard that Neil Druckmann went to Anita Sarkeesian for story advice was the moment I knew this story went down. Things are gonna go downhill. I mean, everything she touches just goes to crap. Look what happened to Anthem at launch. You know, Anthem basically died the same month that it launched. So I don't have high hopes for the release of The Last of Us. Like, again, for me, it's not even about politics. Like, I don't care about the LGBTQ agenda or the alphabets or, you know, feminism or any of that crap. It's the fact that you've taken a character that people care about and you just disrespectfully kill them off just to replace them with a character that is just basically a forefront for your agenda. At the sake of the story, you're just trying to shove a message, virtue signaling, basically, just to just insert your ideologies in. And for me, it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I just don't know how to feel about this. But I just want to say my 2 cents. Naughty Dog is probably going to copyright strike this video anyway, so I don't know if any of this is going to matter in the long run. We're just gonna have to see at launch, and yeah, I guess the best I can do is just give the game a fair chance and just see how things turn out. All I know is that I don't have much high hopes for it. I'm hoping there's a slight chance that it's going to prove me wrong, but we'll just have to see. So, you know, to quote Ellie, it can't be for nothing. But seeing how things are developing, I don't know, it just might be. Like, when I first heard, or when they first announced that they were going to make a sequel to The Last of Us, at first I was skeptical. I was like, you know, I thought the first game was perfectly done, a one and done story on its own. You know, a story that didn't need a sequel, much like Fight Club or like Inception. It's just, it doesn't need, you know, as ambiguous the ending might be, you know, I think it was wrapped up in a perfectly fine way. Those characters' arcs were completed from beginning to end. There's no reason to revisit them. I mean, if they were going to make a sequel, I was just fine with them maybe having it set in the same universe, but with different characters. And when they brought Joel and Ellie back, you know, I was a little skeptical. I was like, you know what? Maybe if they do this right, it'd be interesting to see where their character arcs go from the first game. But after seeing this, I kind of preferred that they just didn't make a second game. So, but I don't know. We'll see how all this pans out. Maybe this will all be for nothing. Maybe it'll just be fine. But there's just too many signs pointing to the contrary. So, but yeah, that's just pretty much all I have to say. But thanks for listening, anyone who's listening. So, peace out.